Hello again, guys, and welcome back. Nandi here. So today we have another video, another country. So I'm showcasing my modest collection, and today we will talk about the French franc. So yeah, this is my total collection to date, coins and banknotes, different banknotes from different periods of the French history. Uh, so a little bit explaining before I continue with the video. For you that are new to my channel, I'm mostly a banknote reseller on eBay. I'm not a proper collector. What you see here is what I've kept from the different big bundles of foreign banknotes that I buy for reselling on eBay. So that's the idea. This is how I collect. I'm not a big money spender on collections. So as for the coins, I buy coins only for my collection, exclusively for my collection. What you see here, it's what I've got through the years, 3 or 4 years now, from also mixed foreign coin bundles or lots. I like the diversity because I'm happy to have 2 or 3 banknotes from a set or from a series, rather a complete set, let's say, from only one time period. So I have a nice amount here of French francs, and I need to say that I had much more than what you see here, but French francs sell very, very well on eBay, and I've sold plenty of French francs over the years, and only last year I decided to recollect them, and yeah, this is what I've got until now. I have had some pretty nice vintage banknotes from this time period, from the 20s and 30s, but I've sold them, and yeah, this is my collection to date. Collecting now continue. So before I continue with explaining the coins and the banknotes, a little bit info about France. So France, officially the French Republic, is a country primarily located in Western Europe, consisting of metropolitan France and several overseas regions and territories. Some basically the same as the United Kingdom, plenty of other territories and regions in other parts of the globe. So the metropolitan area of France extends from Rhine to the Atlantic Ocean and from the Mediterranean Sea to the English Channel and the North Sea. The overseas territories include French Guiana in South America and several islands in the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Oceans. France borders Belgium, Luxembourg and Germany to the northeast, Switzerland, Monaco and Italy to the east, Andorra and Spain to the south, as well as the Netherlands, Suriname and Brazil in the Americas. The country's 18 integral regions, 5 of which are situated overseas, span a combined area of about 650,000 square kilometers and a total population of 67 million as of May of 2021. France is a unitary semi-presidential republic with its capital in Paris, the country's largest city and the main cultural and commercial center. Other major urban areas include Lyon, Marseille, Toulouse, Bordeaux, Lille and Nice. France, including its overseas territories, has the most time zones of any country with a total of 12. So 12 different time zones. That's really crazy. And now a little bit of info about the French franc. So the franc, also commonly distinguished as the French franc, was a currency of France between 1360 and 1641. It was the name of coins worth 1 livre tournois, and it remained in common parlance as a term for this amount of money. It was reintroduced in decimal form in 1795. So France, I believe France was the first country, or from the first countries that adopted the decimal form since 1795. So after 2 centuries of inflation, it was revaluated in 1960, with each new franc being worth 100 old francs. And the new franc designation was continued for a few years before the currency returned to being simply the franc. So mostly older French residents continued to reference and value items in terms of the old franc. This is somehow relevant to Albania. Most people talk with the old or new lek here also, so well, it's somehow a strange way to communicate. Anyway, the old franc until the introduction of the euro for coins and banknotes in 2002. The French franc was commonly held international reserve currency of reference in the 19th and 20th century. So France has a big power, had plenty of influence around the world, and the French franc was very were held as a reserve currency, as the British pound, United States dollar also. By the way, I need to remind you of, because the French coins are the most common coins, they are the first, for me at least, that you will find in the mixed bags of foreign coins. So French francs, Spanish pesetas, Italian lire, or Portuguese escudos. So these are the most common coins to find. So that's why I have a nice amount of coins. And now let's begin. These are my oldest French coins that I've got. Let me focus a little bit. Here we have 1861, Napoleon III, Emperor of France. And this is 5 centimes, is a 5 cents, let's say the equivalent of the cent. I think it's not a rare coin or a rare year. Another one from the same time period, Napoleon III, 1861. This is a 10, I believe, yes, 10 centimes. And I have here 5 centimes from 1917, 16 and 18, I believe. From these coins were from the, well, in those years you had the First World War all over Europe. Not in the greatest conditions, but I'm happy to have them anyway. So a little bit info about the coins. So the outbreak of World War I caused France to leave the gold standard of the LMU, the Latin Monetary Union. The war severely undermined the franc's strength. War expenditure, inflation, and post-war reconstruction, financed partly by printing ever more money, reduced the franc's purchasing power by 70% between 1915 and 1920, and by a further 43% between 1922 and 1926. After a brief return to the gold standard between 1928 and 1936, the currency was allowed to resume its slide until in 1959 it was worth less than 2.5% of its 1934 value. So here we see these were the coins in the World War situation, and these are post-World War I, or the Great War, 1930, 25 centimes. Here we see the famous French motto, Liberté, Égalité and Fraternité. Liberty, equality and brotherhood. I really love this coin. Very beautiful coin. And here we have a 50 centimes, 1931. Let's see again here, a much clearer République Française, RF, 1931. So it is the period that I was talking about. And 1 franc, 1934, from the same period, same series. Very, very nice. I really like the old French coins because these are very, very hard to get, and some of them are a little bit expensive. Here I have, I think, maybe coins. I don't believe these are tokens. This is Bon pour 1 franc. Is the Chamber of Commerce of France, or of France, 1923. I have two of them. One is in a much better condition. If someone knows any info about these two coins, because they have a value here, and I believe these are some kind of coins, please let me know in the comments below. And now we get to the Second World War. So during the Nazi occupation of France, 1940-1944, the franc was a satellite currency of the German Reichsmark. The exchange rate was 20 francs for 1 Reichsmark. The coins were changed with the words. So I wanted to ask you guys, look at these two coins here and these two coins here. They seem these are aluminum coins, both of them, but these are different. Can you spot the difference here? 1 and 2 here. Come on, focus. So we have 1 or 2 francs here and 1 or 2 francs here. Can you spot the difference? The difference, okay, maybe the design is a little bit different here from these two, but the main difference here is in the motto. Look at here. So the coins were changed with the words travail, famille, patrie, work, family, fatherland, replacing the Republican triad liberté, égalité, fraternité, liberty, equality, fraternity, with the emblem of the Vichy regime aided. So during this time, France was occupied from 1940 to 1944, and here we see I have only 2 coins from that period, and I'm really, really happy. This was the symbol of the Vichy franc. Vichy France, was a puppet state, a client state of the German Reich. And here we see État français, State of France, not Republic of France. So these were the main difference, and I am really happy to have this. I have 2 from. And here we have they changed then when France got liberated by the Allies. 1946, 1947, here we see Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, the original motto of the Republic of France. And here we see République Française. They restored the previous motto and design. Very, very beautiful. And for the banknotes, after the liberation, the United States attempted to impose the use of the U.S. occupation franc, which was averted by General de Gaulle. And by the way, these are a provisory 2 and 5 francs when France got liberated. This same design was circulating in Germany also. Here we see the French flag with the motto, the original French motto. So I had the 100 francs, but as I said earlier, I have sold plenty of French banknotes in the last 4 or 5 years. But I'm happy that I have these two. And now let's continue here with the another series in the 50s. So from the 50s now we have a new series, the post-war series, a really beautiful, beautiful series. I think this is my favorite series from France. I like the design, it's simplistic but beautiful at the same time. So after the World War II, France devalued its currency with the Bretton Woods system on several occasions, beginning in 1945 at a rate of 480 francs to the British pound. By 1949 the rate was 1980 to the pound. This was reduced further in 1957 and 1958, reaching 1,382 to the pound. Equivalent to 1 franc equals to 1.8 pure gold. And this was the last post-war French francs. I have here only 3 denominations, the 10 francs. 1951, 53, 50, again 53, 51, 20 francs, really beautiful design. And this is my favorite, the 1952, 50 francs. Very, very beautiful, heavy coin. And here I have something out of nowhere. I don't know if this is French, but I don't know what series this coin is, because I have only one, 5 centimes, 1961. République Française. Anyway, if anybody knows something about this coin, please let me know in the comments below. And here we have the new franc and the last franc, because what you see here is the pre-euro franc from 1960 until 1999, the last minted date. And these are the most common coins you will find on mixed bags. So in January 1960, the French franc was revaluated with 100 existing francs, making 1 nouveau franc. The abbreviation nouveau franc was used on the 1958 design banknotes until 1963. So yeah. The video is getting longer, so I need to finish with the coins to see the banknotes now. We have the 5 so the dates are different dates from the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. The 10 centimes, Also the 20. The 20 is the most common one, 1996 here, 1994. And I have only, strange enough, I have only 150 centimes, 1963. And here we have the half franc. I believe they removed the 50 centimes and a new coin, a half franc here. Half francs, I have different years here. 1 franc, again different years from 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Another batch of 1 francs. This is my favorite one, Prix Euro, 2 francs, beautiful design, beautiful shape, République Française, 1994. And here the big and heavy 5 francs coin. I have a good amount of them. And the highest denomination that I have, the 10 francs, I'm missing the 20 francs coin from this series. So anyway, this was for the coins. Let's see now the beautiful banknotes. This is my oldest set, 1933, 5 francs. You know, French banknote designs are pure majestic. It's like you're watching an art gallery with plenty of gorgeous paintings. France have influenced many countries, especially their colonies in Africa or some Pacific islands. Of course, their territories. And here I have the 10 francs from the same series, 1939. Not in the best condition, but I'm just happy to have them. I will collect, of course, circulated what I get on the big bundles. And here I have 2 banknotes from the Vichy France, when France was occupied. The 5 and the 50. 1941, the first, 1943 here. Very nice. They have kept the beautiful standard of design even in occupation. And here, as I said earlier, these are the post-war, the first banknotes of France, because they didn't have any currency when France got liberated by the Allies. And here we have another series. This is the only one that I have from this series, 1947. This was the first series post-war. Very modern for its time. Unbelievable, beautiful. And here we have another series. This series is from the 80s and 90s. Here we see Louis Berlioz, and he was a French romantic composer and conductor. Very famous. On the 20, we have, let's see, Claude Achille Debussy was a French composer also. Let's see the name. He is sometimes seen as the first impressionist composer, although he vigorously rejected the term. and he was among the most influential composers of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. A big guy, 1997. And here we have the 50, really gorgeous design. Here we see Maurice Quentin de la Tour, and he was a French Rococo portraitist who worked primarily with pastels. Among his most famous subjects were Voltaire, Rousseau, Louis XV, and Madame de Pompadour. You know, French culture, French art, majestic France. And here we have the 200 francs. Here we see Charles-Louis de Secondat, Baron de la Brede et de Montesquieu, generally referred to as simply Montesquieu, was a French judge, man of letters, historian, and political philosopher. 1992. And here we have the last series of French banknotes. I have here two different 50 francs. You cannot distinguish, I don't know from the camera here, but 1993 had small letters here. 1994 has had big letters here. Yes, 1994. And the gentleman is Antoine Marie Jean-Baptiste Roger, Comte de Saint-Exupéry, simply known as de Saint-Exupéry, was a French writer, poet, aristocrat, journalist, and pioneering aviator. And he became a laureate of several of France's highest literary awards. And thus we see him in this beautiful biplane. I have kept some in different banknotes in different conditions. And now the last one, the 100. Here we have one of the most famous portraits in world art, not only French. Paul Cezanne. He was a French artist and post-impressionist painter whose work laid the foundations of the transition from the 19th century conception of artistic endeavor to a new and radically different world of art in the 20th century. So that's why Paul Cezanne, it's one of the greatest. One of his works. Gorgeous design. And the last one, here we have, most of you know him very well. If you don't know this guy was called Alexandre Gustave Eiffel and was a French civil engineer, a graduate of École Centrale des Arts et Manufactures. He made his name with various bridges for the French railway network, most famously the Garabit Viaduct. But he is best known for the world-famous Eiffel Tower, you see here in the background. So this guy is, here we see the foundations of the Eiffel Tower. So this was the last series before the Euro introduction in 2002. Of course, I'm missing the 500 francs, very expensive, and you will not get that banknote easy on the mixed bundles of banknotes. Guys, this was today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. It was a long video, but France has a really long history, so yeah. If you like the video, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Ask me anything, or if you have additional infos, please let me know in the comments below. Again, guys, thank you very much for your support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.